Everybody, hi. Thanks again for watching another episode of Racine and Ruins. I gotta tell you, I want to first thank my guest. Dave Blank was here last time. Before that, Mr. Reese, probably got his name wrong, the guy that's running for assembly. He ran for assembly, he lost in the primary, but he gave it a good gun. He gave it a good shot. You can't complain about people who want to see change and step up to the plate to make that happen. Far too long, we've seen very few people do that. A lot of people complain and bitch. A lot of people, that's all they do, complain and bitch. Because watching American Idol is far more important to them to actually get involved in the community. Now, to me, this is getting involved in the community because I'm here talking about different ideas that I have, both criticizing the city, and there's a lot to criticize, hopefully bringing in people like Dave Blank to explain things about stuff that I didn't understand, like the Civic Center. The idea is to get conversations going because we can't do anything unless we have the information. That's why transparency in office, that's why transparency in government is so important, is these things have to be done. Transparency is number one. So on the whole line of transparency, when we talk about different subjects, first subject I'm going to bring up is two words, probably one word, Delta Hawk. Hear anything about Delta Hawk lately? I don't know, I haven't. Interesting. I think people in the city of Racine should Google the word Delta Hawk and start reading the links that you can find on Google when it comes to that company. And remember, the city of Racine has invested a lot of money in Delta Hawk, as it has in the state of Wisconsin. And I'd like to know more information about, is that investment paying off? Well, sometimes things take longer than usual to happen. It happens. Government bureaucracies can be slow. Government bureaucracies can take their time. Government bureaucracies can be really screwed up. But the fact of the matter is, I, for one, think that we need to have more information given to us about what's going on with Delta Hawk. Because if I understand correctly, and I think that I do, part of the plan to give them all that money was they would be responsible for a number of jobs. If I understand correctly, there's some mechanism in place that if something happened, those jobs didn't come about, not due to faults that nobody can, buildings burning down, acts of God and the like, that would prevent jobs from occurring. But through normal business practices, business fails, and other things, those jobs not come through, that somehow that city of Racine, perhaps even the state of Wisconsin, would get some of that money back. I'd like to know where we stand on that, because we don't have a lot of money in the city of Racine. As we all can remember, it wasn't that long ago. In fact, we had a guest, my first guest, talked about the fact that the city of Racine is claiming broke, and that's why we're going back in contracts. The city's broke, we're going back in contracts with union employees, with families, because we have no money, according to the city of Racine. Yet it seems we're not doing very much to follow up on the investments that we make as a city to see how they're paying off or not for us. Interesting. Might one of the problems we have as a city be the fact that we have a mayor who has a city administrator, I believe it's his cousin, who's around as getting companies to come to city of Racine, as Mr. Friedel runs city of Racine in the mayor's absence? How many companies have come to city of Racine because of Mayor John Dickard? I think I know I talked about this before, but I'm talking about it now again, because these are things that we need to hold our elected officials to account for. Is there time? Because if somebody is out there saying, I'm going to do this as mayor, and this is how I'm going to do it, then we can track results. If indeed, as I'm told is correct, that every day or every week they're talking to all kinds of people, really? If they're talking to all kinds of people, why aren't they showing up? Where are they? Has Freddy Frog ate them all? Perhaps. He's a growing frog, and he has an appetite. Perhaps he eats all these businesses which want to come to the city of Racine. Perhaps that's what's happening to them. Perhaps they can't make it through the traffic snafus that we have with all this construction. Perhaps they're still trying to drive and find the city of Racine. After all, it takes a long time to get anywhere to come down Racine with all these traffic problems going on. How much longer it's going to be, that's an interesting thing. I don't know. But more and more it's beginning a big pain in the behind to deal with it. So I would think, again, you want to Google Delta Hawk and see what's going on, because that's the only place I'm getting any information at all. You would also be able to call your alderman and call the mayor and find out that. Call up the mayor and say, hey, Mr. Mayor, sir, what's the deal with Delta Hawk? Because I can't find information on it, and I would like to know. I think that would be a good idea. I want to encourage everyone to do exactly that. Now, speaking of transparency, we talk about open records. And I think it's a shame that I have to request somebody open records for information I think should be easy to come by. I submitted on or about July 13th or so a wide variety of open records with the city of Racine about Car 25 and the city bathrooms. Out of all the open records I requested, I only gotten a half, I think maybe less than half back. Now, I have to talk to Attorney Weber today because one of the questions was answered and I didn't ask. So I'm kind of confused about how that came about. Perhaps I worded my question incorrectly. And I'm sure that he would help me understand how I should word it better to get the information that I seek. That's truly a shame that information that I believe should be readily available, you have to do an open records request on. Fascinating. So I have to waste city time, not waste, I have to invest city time in doing the research to find the information that I need for this show and other things that I'm involved in, because I'm a citizen of the city and this information should be available to me, in my opinion, without going through the rigmarole of open records. But again, sometimes I have to ask myself, what is it that the city is trying to hide? One of the questions I asked was about the request for proposals that the city of Racine put out about Car 25. I requested the names of all the people that responded to request for a proposal, the names of the people we requested, and the like. I've not gotten that information back. And that request for proposal closed, months ago. Yet, this is information that the city can't seem to be able to find to give me. This is information that also the Cable Commission of the City of Racine has yet to find out for themselves. So not only myself as a member of the public can't get this information, but the body that's in charge of Car 25, the Cable Commission, doesn't know it either. Fascinating. I also asked, because I understand from talking to Mr. Friedel, that there's another set of individuals who at least he, perhaps himself and the mayor, talk to about changes and situations they would want to do with Car 25. I've asked for those names of those people too, because I'd like to know who is being talked to, what the changes they would like to do with Car 25, something obviously I have a great interest in and love for. But yet this information I'm not able to receive, and it's been well over a month. Fascinating. And again, I have to ask myself, what is it that the city of Racine is trying to hide? That they'll delay and delay and delay and hope the information becomes useless to me, or perhaps I'll go away and change my mind about really needing it. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Because it's very interested in myself in finding out what is going on with Car 25 and why a department with such a little bit of money is getting all the scrutiny by the city of Racine. Why is that for? Why? Fascinating. See, I think Car 25 is probably the best investment the city has made in getting the word about what's happening in Racine out there. Anybody can do a show. I do a show, as you all know. Other people do a show on different wide variety of topics that they do one on. It's a good way for people to get a message out about their beliefs, their viewpoints, their opinions, their hobbies. This is a good thing, I feel. Yet, Car 25, in my opinion, is, being ignored, being misused in lots of different ways. Because instead of giving all the support the city can give it, in my opinion, from what I understand, there's a lot of things that they should have that they don't. There's a lot of things and a lot of opportunities that the city should be using it for, which are not. It's truly a shame. Because Car 25 could be doing so much more to promote the city of Racine, and cable television is one aspect of it, it's true. I'm kind of confused why Car 25 isn't used as a city resource for a Twitter account, for a Facebook account, and other things which use the modern media tools could do so much to attract people to come to Racine for all the wide variety of things that people might want to do here, to include seeing Freddie Frog, which I understand now has a fan club. Go Freddie Frog. I really, truly, thinking about transparency, we have the City Hall bathrooms now. I understand that was a project that started for about $300,000 and might be exceeding $500,000 or $600,000. I don't know. Do you? Now, mind you, sometimes we have cost overruns and sometimes things happen beyond our control and things are found we walk into a project that we didn't know was going to be there. That happens. It does indeed. And that's no one's fault. Well, I'd like to know what's going on with the City Hall bathrooms, how much it's cost us to date, how much more might it cost before it's done, when that date might be. Truly. And if it's costing more money than originally intended, why? Is it because they found a situation beyond anybody's control that they had to deal with? Which I think is one of the aspects. I think that deals with some asbestos problems. And asbestos is a problem that they have to deal with. I understand that completely. And of course, that would run more money. Or if one or more subcontractors not doing the job they got some contractor to do. I'd like to know that too. Because if Joe Blow from Kokomo has a contract to install anti-alien devices, I would want to know that, because down the line I might want to install an anti-alien device myself and want to know who the hell I should use to do that and who I should stay away from. But again, even that open records request, as it was answered, I hope I got the wrong answer, because I can't believe the answer that I got is accurate, because if that's the case, the way I read it, and I should have brought it with me today, and I apologize that I didn't, the city has no idea what goes on with most city projects because they don't track them that closely. And I do hope I'm wrong on that, because I would want any project, especially a project this large, to be micromanaged by the city of Racine. Not necessarily what tools somebody's going to use to do a job, but understand what subcontractor is at what phase and they're part of the project. The whole project comes in under budget and in time. Or is this going to be another situation like we have in Milwaukee, where the Milwaukee courthouse is falling apart with all the tiles falling outside of the building? It's going to cost someone an awful lot of money, probably the taxpayer of the city of Milwaukee, an awful lot of time to fix. But what can I tell you? I miss me, and we'll see what happens.